Don't blink, it's your boy, welcome to the show. Guys are doing well, kids are having a phenomenal day. On the 25th of August, 2024, we have the beautiful sun behind me. It is a wonderful morning, and I get to share it with you. We got my brand new chairs, you gotta see me rocking. Back in my days. I'm in a good mood. We're finally back, a full-time making content, which is great. Today's video is actually pretty, I don't want to say it's gonna be emotional, but it is something that I kind of forget about. I kind of put aside for way too long. So, music is the subject of the day. Music is, see, during my entire, I have this weird relationship with music. My entire life, I was attracted to music. My entire life was I was so attracted to music because it was something I cared about. It was something I hoped to dream. I dreamed about. I always wanted to be artistic. To me, drawing were cool, but music was something. I don't know. I think I'm more visual. I'm more audio than visual, right? And maybe that's why. But music has always felt like this art, this way of expressing yourself, right? And it started very simply with one of my first band that I really cared about was Trois Accords, which is a French band that is funny, and I saw myself as funny, so I related to that music. Then it was 8 Mile. 8 Mile was the story, and Eminem, and it was during the 8 Mile. So yes, I'm that old, and I'm gonna be saying something that is pretty awful, but I was relating it was a white guy in a black industry, and I was a white guy in a predominantly black high school, right? There's nothing wrong with that, but I did feel a bit like an outsider, you know. My mom she's Egyptian. My father is Quebecois, which does mean that I have physical traits that are Egyptian. So I was told, I was told, hey, you're not white enough to chill with us, and yeah, it sucked because those are people I grew up with. Those are people I went to school with, middle school, and in high school I was like, hey, you're not white enough to be with us. I'm like, what the fuck. Um, so music and the fact of Eminem was something that was remarkably me. It was a dude that was making it. It was a guy who was hyper aware. I remember. I will always remember one of the most. It's weird. One of the most influential moments of my life was in high school. The last day of high school, everybody was partying, and I was looking back. I was standing back and looking. I was observing the scene, and you guys know that I'm not a observer. I'm more of a doer than thinker, right? And a teacher came to see me, and the teacher said, "Hey, are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Why are you partaking?" And I didn't think about the answer. I was like, "I know this is gonna be ending soon," you know. Then when I went to my rebellious stage, when I went to say fuck the system, there was a band that came with me. That band was that band was. I get emotional right there. That band was Hollywood Undead, and it was about fuck the system. It was being funny. It was about fucking the system. Then I had this depression, right? Because of high school, I didn't keep any friends. I thought I was loved, but I wasn't. I probably was. I probably was loved, right? I probably was cared about from a lot of people, but I didn't feel that way, right? Which is again my perception, my understanding. And that band I came with was Five Finger Dead Punch. Five Finger Dead Punch, Five Finger Dead Punch was this band, and that band was about this guy, Even Moody, which is a singer, right? And Even Moody is really good at saying how he feels and how he feel like he's not enough, how he feel like he want to be a protector, how he feel like he's letting people down, In all of those cases, music was the biggest part of my life. Biggest part of even falling in reverse, Ronnie Radke. Ronnie Radke was something that showed me a lot. He showed me that he was charismatic. He showed me that he was in pain. It was really cool. It was all of those different style of music. Music has been in my life a leading force because, as I said before, right? This is the importance of music in my life. As I said before, when I was a kid, I didn't feel like I was being understood. I wasn't being understood. I'm not trying to find excuses again. I'm fucking glad that I did, but I was under a lot of medication, Concerta, Ritalin. So that's my fault, though. I didn't think about that. Was not the plan of this video. The plan of this video was just to say how music enhances our emotion. But fuck it, let's take you guys on a trip, right? So during the week, I was going to school, so I was having concerta Ritalin. Concerta Ritalin are ADHD or hyperactivity, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, right? I would take them during the week. During the week, I was very calm. I was very demure. I was very in my own space because I was zoned out. I was a zombie, right? The medication made me a zombie. And then during the weekend, I was a gamer, so I was not allowed to play games during the week, only during the weekend. Like, holy shit, it's my chance to play games. So, the time where I could, didn't, not the plan of this video, the days where I could talk to people, I wouldn't because of the medication, and the day I should have talked to people, I was playing games, right? So, long story short, again, it wasn't as perceived, and for the longest time in my life, I thought about myself as this person who was misunderstood. I thought about this person who which parents were good parents regardless, but didn't make the effort to share. But the reality was I was a very hard kid. I was a very not necessarily stubborn kid, but a very hard to figure out kid. I wouldn't share. I wouldn't open up, right? So it was normal for them not to understand me. However, this is how I felt, right? So music was once again the sole proprietor of emotion, and it wasn't because they were understanding my emotion. It wasn't a relationship based on, hey, I understand how you feel, you understand how I feel. It was a relationship of, okay, well, you feel that way, I feel that way. We can kind of understand each other even though we don't talk, right? And it was a way for me to express myself later on in life, even in my better time. It was amazing because I had those. When I went to baking class, and I did some baking course, got a whole ass diploma. See, when I went to the baking class, I was very optimistic, very, very, very optimistic. I was in such a good place, and weirdly enough, the artist that I was listening to was Mac Miller. Yeah, Mac Miller was the embodiment of a good kid, of a good dude. I was the youngest person in my class. Mac Miller was extremely young. I was the most upbeat person in my class. Mac Miller was so upbeat. Mac Miller was a poet, and it was so good. And he had those moments where he was a bit erratic, which was Smile Back, which was Donald Trump, right? And it's amazing. Frick Pop Market. So it was a very complex artist, and Mac Miller to this day is possibly the artist that made that pushed me the most, because Mac Miller once again had those. Wow, I can't believe I'm gonna say this. Mac Miller had those. I can't even say it. I'm getting emotional. See, Mac Miller had the way of being extremely prolific when it came to music. He had this amazing song, and for a whole year, I only listened to Mac Miller. I had 112 songs on my iPod of him, and it was kind of cool because Mac Miller was one of the first artists after Linkin Park, even Linkin Park to a certain extent, had such an impact in my life, right? Such an impact in my life in the fashion of, this is a band that I love as a kid. It's a band that everybody was telling me, hey, we love that band, we love that band, we love that band, right? Even a song like a group like Evanescence was the same thing. And it was weird because I didn't understand it because I was a French speaker. I learned English at 16 years old, which a lot of people will not believe, but that's the truth. And that's thanks to my mom. My mom, she threw me in the wolf den. She threw me in the wolf den and putting me in a English camp, right? If you want to make friends, if you want to talk to somebody, speak English. Linkin Park was one of the first band that, even Linkin Park, when it comes to the impact of music in my life. Linkin Park was a band that I loved. Linkin Park was a band that I didn't understand. Linkin Park was one of the first bands when I understood English. I was gravitating towards it. And even if you know me, you know I'm a gamer. You've seen this tattoo of Kingdom Hearts. And one of the first AMV that I ever watched, anime music video, is, well, technically this is a GMV, which is a game music video, was Kingdom Hearts, and it was Linkin Park. It was Somewhere I Belong. right? And understanding those lyrics, understand the genius of Chester Bennington, right? Understanding that it was pure talent. It was pure talent. It was amazing. Then you came back to Mike Shinoda, which was the second front runner of Linkin Park. Ooh, and I do mean this with the utmost respect. I'm not trying to offend people. In my eyes, it is always gonna be two different situations. For me, Chester Bennington was talent, pure talent. To me, Mike Shinoda was hard work. Mike Shinoda was very talented, not as much as Chester Bennington. And put in the same room, Mike was absorbed by the shadow of Chester, right? But then Chester's talent came from abuse. His lyrics is untimely end, that he unalive himself, came from the fact of this abuse. So your gift from God was not enough to save you. You saved 1,000,000 people, Chester. You didn't save yourself. See? And ultimately, that's when you're talented, right? You look at Michael Jackson, you look at all those artists. Sad. Then let's go back to the subject of music. And music was the sole proprietor of my soul. When I had my depression at 22, I told you guys about my depression when I was 22. My depression was caused also. See, I had a lot of depression in my life, right? Which does sound like a bit, oh, it's not depression, you're just sad. Just realize that when you have your first depression, right, you have those 2, 3. The first one is the hardest to get. That you're gonna get that because you're falling back in that. When you have depression, there's something in your brain that breaks. There's something in your brain that breaks in the fashion of, hey, I'm never gonna be the same again. Right? It's normal. Music was, it was so important at 22 years old. I had this depression because once again this guy was there for everybody else, right? Expecting them to be there for me, and it was hard because I put myself in a situation of, I'm willing to get attention from anywhere that I want. I'm looking to get it from people that don't care about me, and then I'm gonna help them when they need help. But when I need help, fuck them, you know. And at the same time, it is my problem, because like once again, I did make the effort to. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard because back then, I still think that I did nothing wrong. I still think that it was normal for me to ask those people for help because I was in need of help, and I helped them. What I was wrong was expecting them to help. But asking people that you help to help you is quite normal. It's quite human, you know? And most people didn't care. I had a depression because I lost my girlfriend and my best friend in the same week. One of them, my best friend, unalived himself, and my girlfriend saw me sad. And the second night she saw me sad, she's like, "Oh well, I cannot deal with somebody that's sad." And this was my biggest depression. That lasted for 2-3 years. Didn't work. But the music once again saved me. The music, and it's not the fact that the music healed me. It's the fact that the music let me feel what I was feeling. I discovered a YouTube channel that is still active to this day, Mr. Satchel. I did talk about him. Mr. Satchel is a YouTube channel that is focused on emo rap, right? So people like Nothing Nowhere, Garden, Ninetail, Convo, Garden, Lunt, are all people that I discovered thanks to Miss Satchel. And it wasn't so much about healing thanks to music. It was about it was about being able to feel those emotions. It was about being able to say, you know what, I'm sad and that's okay. Then even I listened to so much rap outside of it. So even when I came back to normalcy, which was normalcy isn't rap. And then rock is a mixture of both. It's being open enough to enjoy both music. There's no negative to enjoying both music style, right? There's more than that, but that's what I'm talking about. And I came back to My Chemical Romance, and it was amazing. Came back to band like fucking Motionless in White, which allowed me to feel the way I want to feel. That allowed me to feel to feel the way I needed to feel, you know. When I look back at my life, and that's why we're doing this video. That's why we're doing this video, is because whenever I look back at important or pivotal moments in my life, I can look back at it and see music as the pivotal moments of my life. And it's not so much that we lived that, it's how you felt that. You can have two people, right? They both get cut with this knife. One of them focus on the hurt, and one of them focus on the healing. And the pain and the wound is the same. It's how you approach it, right? So music was my way of guidance. Music was my way of emulating emotions, and it was really important to me. And what happened was, during the last 5 years or 6 years, I don't know, because when I started working at PCT, which is the company I just worked at first, the first thing I did, okay, I'm gonna sound like an asshole, okay, but I'm not an asshole. So first of all, I was working for Bedar Resources. Bedar Resources was an agency which had a lot of workers. But the problem with agency work is you'll get 2 months, 3 months, gone. You want to work again? Okay, no problem. You'll work again. We're good, right? So the problem with that is it's not necessarily that you're in a position to say, hey, you'll find another job. It's the fact that you don't, even if you're a hard worker, you're still an agency worker. There's no future. It's not long term. It's short term to help you out. So what I did was, I was a agency worker that was constantly shipped around. I did a year there, 6 months there, a year there, because I'm a good worker. And then I went to PCT, and PCT, although it seemed like good people, they were good people. PCT was my family, is my family. I fucking love PCT. Best job I ever had, best job I possibly will ever have. But you're talking to a guy who was, for 6 years, because I did work. It's funny. When I came to the apartment, I was 20 years old. I came to this very apartment, and to this apartment, the cool thing is that I had a couple of jobs, right? And then I went to a agency work. An agency worker I started was 22. Now I'm 31. So I worked for an agency for, wow, I worked with agency for 5 years, and I worked with PCT for 6 years. PCT, I started as an agency worker. When I started at agency, when I worked at PCT, I started as agency. So my first thought, even though that's not them, that's me. My first reflection was, I've been shipped around so much, I'm not gonna get the effort to get attached to this place. I like the people there, don't get me wrong, they were nice. I loved the workplace. I loved the work I was doing. I was having fun. I enjoyed the job. It was a good time. Do I regret not being there anymore? Yeah, sure. If I could, I'd be there. I love making content, but that was a job I would have for another 5-7 years, even with a bully. This job changed my life, you know. And the goal is pretty simple. It was to find a long-term job. It was the first place I hired. I was there for a year, and then they hired me, you know. But at the first time, it wasn't about them. It was about me not wanting to make friends, because I knew, again, I'm gonna have to go turn to music. The song "Nothing Nowhere." I'm tired of the highs and lows. I'm tired of rise and fall. I reach before stop, because I don't want to get my hopes up. That's the complete thing. I didn't want to get my hopes up on that job. So I listened to music. And my problem was over there. So with agency worker are, how can I say that? It's just not nice for me to say. Agency worker, there's this preconceived notion. We're worker that works here, you're an agency worker. The worst job, the worst work you can get, agency work. So cleaning the toilets, janitor work, shitty job. And you have music, but at this place, at PCT, I had a good job. I had a job that I liked doing. And I was listening to music. So I listened to music for a whole last year, maybe a year and a half, maybe 2 years. However, I'll be completely fucking honest. I think most of the time that I look for new music was out of need. I think in the case that I show, and every single video that I did today, there are cases of you need that. So, for example, right? My apologies. Nothing Nowhere came at a time where I was depressed. Mac Miller came at a place where I was extremely. Let me change video. Let me put some more Nicocado. Tired of the highs and lows. I'm tired of the rise and fall. I reach before I stop, 'cause I don't wanna get my hopes up. This song. See, these song, even Motionless in White, I needed Motionless in White. Motionless in White came into my life when I needed it. And I think that's why I liked Motionless in White. I think that's why I like the band that I like, because they were important to me, because they needed them. Five Finger Death Punch, I didn't talk about them a lot. Five Finger Death Punch was a band that changed my entire fucking life. Five Finger Death Punch came at a time where I was very sad, but I felt like I was victimized myself. But the reality isn't that. The reality is the person who showed me Five Finger Death Punch was Carl Dubois. Et je t'aime, mon Carl, man. Mon meilleur ami. Carl was like a brother to me. He was a brother to me, and he showed me. And the reason me and Carl got along so well, the reason why we became really close friends, is because Carl was very mature. Carl was very understanding of the weight of his own action. We understood that we had this responsibility. We understood that we had that weight on our shoulder. This is what we wear, right? This is how we relate to each other. There wasn't the friendship was based on Carl did so much to me, for me. Sorry. The bench that you see here, the bench, that's his. Who helped me move here? Him. See, Carl did so much for me, right? And it was always a relationship of, I'll be there when you need me, and I know that you'll be there when I need you. It was this common ground of brotherhood, right? And with Carl showed me Five Finger Death Punch, so that I felt like he did. I was the same. See, music. So sorry. I stopped listening to music, right? Because the reality is, I feel so bad saying this. Fuck, dude. I can't believe I'm gonna make this video. This video, you think I wanted to make a 22-minute video? No. This video is important because it's such a testament to who I am. See, those songs, those artists, those music came into my life when I needed them. I can give you 1,000 examples. It's not gonna change shit. I only need to give you a couple examples. It's gonna be the same thing over and over and over and over again. When I came to PCT, it was a job that I loved. It was people that I love. It was a environment that I love. It was close to my house, right? So I listened to a whole year of music non-stop, and it was 8 hours. And my mood or my emotion didn't change. So I needed more. What should we call it? I needed more. Like, not. I don't think stable is the right word. I think stability is the perfect example of what I'm trying to picture. So I changed from. Holy shit. There you go. I'm gonna give it to my father. See, music to me is so important because that stability is crazy. This PCT, and we were all about music. We're gonna be changing to audio because music is on audio stimulus, right? Can we agree on that? Thank you. So I started listening to audiobooks. Audiobooks were important to me. Audiobooks were very important to me. I did 4, 5 to 6 months of audiobook. Now, if you're following the story, I've been working at PCT for 1.5 2 years, and I was already introduced to it. But then I was working there. I was a full-time worker there. I was an agency worker. I got hired after a year. I was part of the family, and they really introduced me. So I was listening to these audiobooks, and people kept including me. So I was like, I can't listen to audiobook anymore. I am being, and that's about me being an asshole. I do apologize. I do regret that. That I regret. I was like, I'm getting too bothered to listen to to listen to audiobooks. So I started listening to podcasts, and I listened to podcasts for a year, right? And I was like, okay, well, fuck it, because it's always the same thing. And then I started listening to Kid Boga, to Nicola Avocado, right? And I was happy with that. But it's safe to say I didn't listen to music. Now, my life is pretty fucking boring. My life is pretty simple. After the work, you know what I did, right? I started making constant content. Tongue twister, baby. And that constant content was constantly streaming, constantly listening to videos. Every single show that I listened to, right, was about what should I call it? Was about fuck. It was about getting busy or making the most of my time. So there's no music. There's no time for music. And lately, I've been paying attention back to music, and I just remember how much music has helped me. How much music has been in my life. I just remember the power, the value of music, and this is why we're making this video. I had a whole week of break because of Trolls, and music was a big part of that, and it helped me. And it sucks because you're gonna get tools in your life. Everybody's gonna get tools. Everybody's gonna get different tools. Either you use them or you don't. And the reason why we're making this video today, because I knew about this tool that I had and I didn't use it. Are we gonna be looking at the music the entire day? No, but I want it to be a part of, and also music. What is the insanity behind the music is music has such been a catalyst for emotion that whenever there's a need or there's I'm listening to music, there's a need to listen to emotion. For example, I just did a nature corn this morning. I went out to see the sunrise, and that music really made the experience nice. But if I was in my apartment listening to music, I don't know if it would be the same. It is weird. Anywho, this is the importance of music in my life. And don't tell you, love you, I'll see you guys soon.